Okay, we are here with Louis from the Soft Moon. Hello, Louis.
Hi.
Hi. So let's talk about your new album, the forthcoming album, which is called Deeper. I read that it is for you some sort of return to the first album, more introspective, but also with the good sound, with a better sound as the first album.
Yeah, it's basically it kind of represents my evolution as a songwriter and just exploring my inner dimensions, you know. And with Deeper, I definitely wanted to express more of the more songwritten material, whereas before it was just more about just sound and experimentation. And with this record, I wanted to include more melodies, more structure from start to finish, and I also just wanted to learn more about myself as extremely as I could, and which is why I call it Deeper.
And for this, you sort of chose a place where you could be on your own for a certain time in Italy.
Yeah, I just wanted to be in an unfamiliar territory. Basically, I didn't want to be comfortable during the process. I wanted to kind of feel a little bit of struggle, just because
challenging,
just to challenge myself, to feel alive, and also feel like to really depend on my art to survive. And
where was it? It was near Venice, I think.
Yeah, it was in Venice. Just 5-10 minutes away from the island. It was kind of in the countryside. I just wanted to do this because I wanted to be as pure as possible and as honest as possible with my expression, without any influences, just depending on myself.
And I read somewhere that Zeros was supposed to be your last solo album. Is it true?
You know, it's funny because I don't remember ever saying that.
Yeah, I read it somewhere.
Yeah, I've been reading it too. I've seen it. I think it's even on my bio. But I left it this way because I do remember feeling that way about closure with the Soft Moon. I just don't remember saying it, but it makes sense to me. And I also do like kind of the story behind, like almost as if the Soft Moon, I was kind of defeated by my own project, but then I came back, to learn more, and I still wasn't finished,
And maybe you were a little bit tired because of the touring process, and it's a typical downward situation when you have toured a lot and you're a little bit bored about everything.
I never really get bored. The thing is that it's very painful for me. The songs I write about are about feelings I have, and everything is what comes out naturally is just darkness. And I'm learning about myself, and a lot of times I don't like the answers that I get, with my questions, and so it's very torturous, even just creating a song. And live, I'm very vulnerable after a live set. There's usually about an hour. It takes about an hour after a live set for me to kind of put my shell back on, because I'm like an open wound after every live set, and then that's really hard to do every night.
What were the most important things that you kind of discovered in your new search there in Italy? What were the triggers, creative triggers?
The creative triggers. Well, I'm just, like I said, just depending on myself 100% and wanting to approach this record as pure as possible. And the ultimate goal is to, obviously learn more about why I exist and what I am. I always have these questions. It's just so weird to be alive. To me,
there's a song where you say that. Right? Why are we here? Why are we alive?
It's kind of like a reoccurring thing. I usually.
Is it in being? I think. Why are we
there's
here?
There's feel and there's.
No, it's in feel.
Feel is why am I alive and why are we alive, and also in being, it's I can't see my face. I don't know who I am. What is this place? There's a kind of reoccurring themes. I mean, there's always only a few themes that I.
And there's something about the way you sing that reminds me of Trent Reznor.
I'm starting. It's so strange because I saw Nine Inch Nails live not too long ago. It was the first time I've ever seen him live, and to be honest, I never even really listened closely to his music. I mean, I had Downward Spiral and I think I had The Fragile. I think I had those 2 albums, but I was never like
a big fan,
super fan. I had a connection with it. I wasn't sure with it.
Yeah,
I just knew I felt some sort of connection, and then now as I look at him, I'm noticing similar themes, like that feeling of power, like the feeling of like that fuck you kind of thing. He does that, and he also sings about his vulnerabilities too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and so it's
that's what I felt as well. I felt it very strongly in all many songs, like 4 or 5 songs. It's like this album, the same kind of as you say, power and.
The thing is, I feel like
anger, that has to come out.
I feel like the main similarity we have, and I could be completely wrong. You might have something different to say, but I feel like we are our own enemy, and that's the battle. Yeah. And that's the journey, is defeating yourself, because I don't trust myself at times. I make horrible decisions at times. Sometimes I'm depressed and I want to fight to be happy, and that's what I sense.
Yeah. Let's talk about the cooperation with John Fox. Did you meet him? Did you have?
Yeah. We met him in London. Guy, We hung out in London. He's a great guy. Super tall.
Yeah.
He's a tall guy.
Yeah. I did a wonderful interview with him. Wonderful guy. Very modest. Huh?
Yeah. Very. Yeah.
Like a gentleman.
He's a total gentleman.
You wanted to call him Sir.
Yeah. He's definitely really, a Sir.
Oh, it's wonderful guy. And what about the tour with Depeche Mode?
That was eye-opening, emotional, and it was very fun. Actually, it was revelational, life-changing. It was a big thing for me. For me to come from my bedroom making songs to play with Depeche Mode, 20,000 people every night. That's crazy. And I watched them perform every night. We toured with them. So I remained very grateful and humble about the whole thing. I couldn't believe it, and it made me even gave me more questions, like why am I alive and things like that. It's like, this is really happening.
Everything gets bigger. Huh?
Everything gets bigger, and then when it gets bigger, nothing makes sense. I don't know. Hung out with Martin Gore. Yeah. We crossed paths in the hallway, and we'd talk, and we shared a lot of jokes. Martin Gore's great. He's hilarious, actually. We shared this funny thing. I think one night I was drinking quite a bit, and we were talking, and I mentioned that I cry a lot when I watch sad films or something like that. So it became like this reoccurring joke about, did you cry to that? Like, Martin Gore, I was like, yesterday I went and had like a turkey sandwich. Oh, did you cry? It was funny.
Yeah, it sounds typical of him.
Yeah, it was cool to share that with him. It's great. To see that he's a real person.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. I had a question also about the beginning of your career back in 2009 and 2010. If I remember well, at that time when you first did your first album, there was really some sort of movement on the musical scene.
I noticed that
was created not only by you, also by the KVB.
Yeah.
With this kind of mix between several genres, like post-punk, psychedelia, shoegaze, and electronics. All those things mixed.
Yeah. What did they call that? The collective. The collective unconsciousness or something like that, where just kind of things happen even far away from each other at the same time. I think that's kind of what happened with this sort of movement. And I remember things got dark in the music industry. I mean, in terms of bands, the music became darker, and it's still this way. It's still happening.
And I talked about this with the guy from KVB, and
they're good friends of mine. I like them.
He said the same thing. He couldn't figure out whether it was you or him that were the first. So he said exactly the same thing about
I would say it's me,
spirit.
but okay. But I didn't. That's funny because I mean, for good close friends of mine of course they tell me like, oh, you can't believe what you created, And of course, if my ego kicks in, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm the one who did it. But you know, who knows? It's all, like I said, it's more of the collective unconscious.
Yeah.
I think it just happened at the same time in different parts of the world.
Let's talk about the origin then. What, do you remember the first bands? I would say in the genres that we mentioned earlier.
Like the genre that I kind of coincide with, The Cure. I mean, Disintegration. I think that's the first time I ever.
At which moment did you decide to play music and to compose?
I've always been fascinated with music, and I grew up with MTV. And I was obsessed with it, which was probably strange for my mom because you're supposed to watch cartoons when you're a kid. I was obsessed with MTV.
And that was my question about the Belgian bands. Mm-hmm. So do you know some bands that influence you and that you know from Belgium?
You mentioned like Front 242.
The Clinic.
Oh yeah, Clinic. This is Snowy Red as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Snowy Red.
Yeah.
Also Belgian.
I bought that record because it was a reissue, and there was a track on there I really liked. But yeah.
Which one? Neon Judgment.
Neon Judgment. That's another one. Yeah. A friend of mine, Dark Entries Records. Mm-hmm. He's like reissuing all the Neon Judgment stuff. He's been doing that for a while now. That was my first exposure to Neon Judgment.
And what about your projects now? I suppose you're going to tour a lot.
Yeah, starting April, I'll be touring quite a bit throughout the year, and I'm hoping to fit in a little side project while I'm on tour.
Like?
I don't know, something angry, something noisy.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure. Just a little like a solo side thing.
Oh yeah.
Just to get other frustrations out or emotions out.
So another concept then.
Yeah, we'll see.
Name.
You're the first to hear about this because it's right now it's just a thought. So we'll see what it turns into.
So you have no name or no.
Nothing yet.
Nothing special.
Nothing special. Just something.
It's just an idea.
Something. It's just an idea that hopefully will blossom.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you also about your live band.
Yeah.
Do you already have a?
I've had this lineup for close to 2 years now because I moved to Europe and I wanted to write the record, and I didn't expect my band members to follow me in my journey through life. You know, they have their own lives as well. Yeah. So moving to Europe was something I had to do, and.
So you're living in Europe now?
Yeah, I live in Berlin now.
I thought you had gone back to the States after Venice.
No, I'm still here.
So what is your
it's open-ended.
Your impressions about Berlin and Europe?
I find it inspiring. You know, I feel creative when I'm there. I feel alive when I'm there, and I kind of connect to it. There's like this, because of the history there. There's a sense of like gloom, but then at the same time, people are trying to live and have fun.
So maybe one of your internal struggles was coming in fact from the fact that you were living in San Francisco. The problem between the sun on the one hand and your inner self. Yeah. Because you said that in our last interview that you were playing music and composing as a reaction to your environment. Yeah. It's probably because your environment was too sunny, too positive, too...
Exactly, and I always...
Everything's all right.
I tend to contrast.
The American dream.
What's the word? Antiloquist, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do the opposite of whatever someone else is doing, or be the opposite, or live an opposite way of whatever the environment. Like if you live on the beach, you're gonna... I would be a gothic guy or something like that, you know, as an example, you know.
Oh, yeah. So now you're in Berlin, you're going to play surf music.
Yeah, totally. That's funny.
and you're going to cry.
Yeah, and I'll still cry, yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Cool.
I think nice material.
I think that was it was fun. It was natural. I like that.